and we're back again in the twin kitchen. Tonight we're going to be making a lovely treat for you guys. It's called Imqaret. Imqaret is, in English, a date slice. It's actually very good for snacks, afternoon teas with a tea or coffee, or even after a beautiful meal in the evening. Okay, what are the ingredients, Mon? Let's get started. Alright, first of all we're going to go up to the dough base. We've got flour, 200 grams of flour, 100 grams of unsalted butter or margarine, 2 tablespoons of orange blossom flower water, 2 tablespoons of aniseed, 25 grams of sugar, and that's the dough.
Now step 2.
Okay, then we've got the date filling. We've got 350 grams of dates that's been soaked for half an hour in just a little bit of warm water. Not too much, just until it's like a little bit covered. We've got 2 tablespoons of lemon zest and 2 tablespoons of orange zest. 2 tablespoons of orange blossom flower water and 2 tablespoons of aniseed liqueur. And a little bit of cinnamon and mixed spice.
Alright, let's start cooking. So we're going to begin.
Alright, first of all with the dough. Got a bit of sifted flour here. We're going to be adding the 100 grams of butter into the flour.
Soften it with our hands.
Yeah, we're just going to soften it through, break the butter apart and form the flour and butter into breadcrumbs. Okay, now the butter is all incorporated throughout the flour. It's actually formed into nice breadcrumb look. It's nicely separated and fine. Okay, now we're just going to make a little whirl in the middle, and we're going to be adding a little bit of sugar. I'm actually going to mix that through, just slightly,
just to even it out.
Okay, then we're going to add the orange blossom water and the aniseed liqueur. Right, then we're just going to mix that together. If the flour is a little bit dry still, just add a little bit of water to it, or you can add a little bit of more aniseed liqueur. It's up to you and see how strong you want your dough to be. It's just all about flavour. Through. So can you put a little bit of mixed spice in?
How much do you put in?
Just put a little bit in.
Just
probably about 1 tablespoon. Okay, now we're just going to throw this on the bench, and we're just going to knead it. Just put just a little bit of flour, just a little, just so it won't stick to the bench and get all messy. Okay, so we're just going to knead this through. We can't knead it too much just because we don't want this to get really tough. So just until it's all nicely incorporated and beautiful dough. And we're going to let this sit for about 20 minutes so it can rest. So it can form
So you can sit it in the fridge or outside?
Yeah.
Any of them?
So it can have a nice, beautiful elasticity. When you're rolling it out, it will be nice and soft and beautiful. Okay, let's set that aside.
You prepared one earlier, didn't you, Monica?
Set one earlier, it's nice and cold, so it'll be very nice and easy to roll out.
So you're just going to melt that slightly with your arm?
Yep.
With your hands. Just to press it. Just
Press
get
it
back
down.
to room temperature.
Okay. And again, throw a little bit of flour on the bench. So when you're rolling out the dough, it won't stick to the bench. Can you pass me the rolling pin?
Yep. Bit of flour on the rolling pin too?
Yeah, just a little. Or you can just put a little bit of flour on top of the dough.
Try and work nice and clean too. Usually Monica likes throwing flour everywhere, and then she doesn't clean up after herself. That's why I'm the little assistant to clean up her bloody mess.
Okay, we're now rolling it out nice and thin. It's best rolling out when it's still a bit cold, just because it's got a lot of butter, a lot of fat content in this. So it will get very soft if it's been left out for too long.
And especially with the room temperature too. Usually in summertime it's very difficult to make pastries like this because it's very humid inside and it starts melting on the bench. So during winter time it's very good to actually work with pastry work.
Okay, that's probably the right thickness. Rest it for about 25 minutes. Okay, we're going to start with the date filling. Okay, we're going to saucepan on.
Put this nice and high, Monica?
Yeah, not too high. We're going to be adding some dates.
Some chopped up dates.
It's a little bit chopped up. Alright.
lot nicer to get fresh dates from the markets. If not, you can get dry dates and just soak it with a bit of water.
Okay, we're going to add a little bit of the aniseed liqueur and the orange blossom water. Just let that cook out. And the zest.
So you just cook it out until it's nice and pasty?
Yeah,
or?
yeah, until it's nice and pasty, up to about 5 minutes, no longer than that. Okay, let's mix that all through. Okay, this has been cooking out for a nice 5 minutes and it's got a beautiful paste.
It's got a very gorgeous aroma to it too. You smell the actual essence and the dates.
So we need this to cool down for a little. And now we've got all our ingredients ready. Now we're going to start with the date slice. We've got our dough here. I'm just going to move that onto the marble so it's not too cold. Just a little bit of water. I'm just going to brush a little bit there so when we actually fold the flour, the dough together, it's going to seal nice and it won't open up when you're deep frying.
It sticks with the water.
Okay, now we've got our date paste. Just a little bit, just make like a little line. Just sort of press it down a little bit. Do about 5
sticks onto the pastry.
Yeah. And another one. We're just going to fold this over. I'll show you in a minute how to do that.
So you just do 2 rows or 3 rows? How many rows, Monica?
I'm probably going to do about 2. Brush a little bit. Now we're going to fold this over. Okay, we're just going to cut this out. On this side, just a little bit of flour on it, just so it won't. Okay.
These marble benches out there keeps everything nice and cool.
Okay, now it's ready to deep fry. So you just got to place them carefully.
Just 1, 2 at a time, usually.
It should go.
Okay, and you cook that out for about 3-4 minutes until it's nice and golden brown.
Beautiful. Look at that. Okay, we're just going to let that sit just for about a minute. And then we're going to present.
And that's it. That's all done.
Yeah.
You're going to put some icing sugar on top of that.
Sprinkle a little bit of icing sugar. If you actually want to keep if you want to make a nice large quantity and you want to keep it in your freezer, you can make the dough and just do it how I did before deep frying. Just wrap it up in a bit of cling film and put it in the freezer, and it can last forever. It can last up to a year or 2. It's not really going to go off or anything. And then you just, when you want to use it, you can just put it straight into the deep frying up to 180 degrees.
Or in the oven as well.
Even if it's still frozen, it'll still be alright.
A healthier way to put it in the oven, if you want to put it in the oven.
Just get a nice grease-proof tray, spray a little bit of canola oil, place down your Imqarets. Just put a little bit of butter on top of it, just to nice and crisp it up a little bit, and then put it in the oven on 180 degrees for about 25 minutes until golden.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.
See you later. Bye-bye.